Preview, WTA Finals. Coco Gauff vs Jessica Pegula, prediction, form head-to-head. Weeks after their Wuhan showdown, Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula face off in Sunday's All-American clash at the WTA Finals in Riyadh. The defending champion returns to the year-end event in good form after claiming the title at the WTA 1000 tournament, and the two-time Grand Slam winner aims to get off to a positive start in the round-robin contest. Match preview. 12 months after defeating in-form opponents Aryna Sabalenka and Qinwen Zheng in the semifinals and final, respectively, Gauff returns to Riyadh aiming to start her defense strongly. Last year's title match against Zheng was a 3-hour epic that the American number 1 won after coming from a set down to triumph 3-6, 6-4, 7-6-2. A topsy-turvy year began with the 21-year-old winning her first 9 matches of 2025. Only for a dip following the Australian Open to see the American number 1 lose early in Doha, Dubai, Indian Wells and Miami. However, a resurgence during the clay season was inevitable, and Gauff reached the quarter-finals in Stuttgart and the final in Madrid and Rome, losing to Sabalenka and Jasmine Paolini respectively. Nevertheless, Gauff's persistence and consistency on the dirt paid off eventually, as she overcame Sabalenka in an error-strewn Roland Garros final. The grass season was a washout, and the US Open failed to meet lofty expectations. However, the two-time Grand Slam champion has found a third wind, reaching the semifinals in Beijing and claiming the title in Wuhan. Pegula was the opponent in that WTA 1000 final, with the 31-year-old unable to fully capitalize on her victory over Sabalenka in the semifinal, thereby ending the Belarusian's 20-match winning streak and her bid for a 4th consecutive crown. The 2024 US Open runner-up was aiming for her 4th title of 2025, having already won in Austin, Charleston and Bad Homburg. Having 51 wins in 2025 is a notable achievement, and the American number 3 and world number 5 is aiming for her 52nd to improve her current 51-21 record for the season. Pegula's journey to the 2023 final could not be repeated 12 months ago, as she withdrew before her final group match, but she is aiming for a more favorable return to Riyadh. Indeed, defeating Gauff for the 5th time would put her in a strong position for another deep run at the year-end tournament. Although much will depend on a quick start, it remains to be seen if Gauff adapts to the indoor conditions as well as her opponent. The All-American clash is likely to be a back-and-forth battle, and we expect the two-time Slam winner to beat Pegula in 3. The 2025 WTA Finals have delivered blockbuster matches from the very first serve, and perhaps none captures the spirit of American tennis better than this. Coco Gauff vs Jessica Pegula, a duel between mentor and protégé, doubles partners turned rivals, and two of the most consistent performers on tour. When they walk onto the Riyadh court under the dazzling lights, it won't just be about points or titles, it'll be about pride, familiarity, and the fine balance between friendship and fierce competition. The American dream duo turned rivals. For the past 2 seasons, Gauff and Pegula have carried the American flag high in women's tennis. Together, they've won multiple doubles titles and shared countless courtside smiles. But in singles they stand on opposite sides of the net. Gauff, the explosive young champion with fearless athleticism, and Pegula, the calm strategist whose precision and composure have made her one of the most dependable players on tour. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Gauff, still only 21, plays with a fire that electrifies crowds. Her game is built on speed, power, and the unteachable instinct to chase down every ball. Pegula, now 31, thrives on rhythm and intelligence, using placement and timing to dismantle opponents. When these two meet, it's a reflection of generational shift, youth versus experience, instinct versus structure, and yet, beneath it all, a deep respect binds them. Recent form, Gauff's evolution and Pegula's persistence. Coco Gauff enters the WTA Finals as the defending champion, a badge of honor and a burden of expectation. Since her Grand Slam triumph at the 2023 US Open, she's proven that her success wasn't a one-season wonder. Her 2025 campaign has been highlighted by semi-final runs at both the French Open and Wimbledon, and a title in Cincinnati that reminded everyone why she's the face of the new era of tennis. Her serve has improved dramatically. Once considered a weakness, now it's a weapon. The forehand, too, has matured. She uses it with more confidence, opening the court instead of overhitting. But what sets her apart is her movement. Gauff's ability to turn defense into attack remains her superpower, a style that can frustrate even the most seasoned opponents. Yet, as dominant as Gauff has been, Pegula is never far behind. The Buffalo-born powerhouse has been the model of consistency. Despite a few early exits at the majors, she's compiled a series of deep runs at WTA 1000 events, including a runner-up finish in Toronto and a semi-final in Doha. Pegula's strength lies in her ability to keep matches within her control. She rarely gets rattled, her backhand remains a thing of beauty, and her court awareness, especially against players she knows well, often gives her an early edge. She doesn't overwhelm, she outsmarts. When facing Gauff, that steady hand could be her greatest weapon. Head-to-head, familiar foes. On paper, Gauff holds the slight edge in their head-to-head, leading 3-2 in career meetings. Yet the story those numbers tell is more complex than the scoreboard suggests. Their first encounter in 2021 saw Pegula outweed a younger, less polished Gauff with precise baseline play. But as Gauff matured, so did the dynamic. By 2023, the teenager had begun to dictate the rallies, using her speed and power to turn the tables. Their last clash before the WTA finals came in Miami earlier this year, a three-set thriller that ended in Gauff's favor after nearly 3 hours. Pegula had controlled the early exchanges, but Gauff's relentless energy and a timely surge in the decider sealed the victory. The takeaway? Matches between them often hinge on momentum. Pegula's tactical brilliance can disarm Gauff early, but the younger star's resilience and athleticism tend to shine as matches wear on. What's at stake in Riyadh? The WTA finals aren't just another tournament, they're the season's ultimate proving ground. Both players have arrived in Riyadh with something to prove. For Coco Gauff, defending her crown would cement her status as the undisputed queen of the new generation. She's already a fan favorite and marketing icon, but a successful defense here would showcase her growth, not just as an athlete but as a leader of the sport. For Jessica Pegula, this is about validation. She's long been the quiet force in American tennis, often overshadowed by Gauff's rise. Yet, her consistency and professionalism have earned her immense respect on tour. A win over Gauff, especially at this stage, would be symbolic. It would say, experience still matters, patience still pays. The match also carries emotional weight. As doubles partners, they've celebrated victories together. But now, their tactical understanding of each other becomes a double-edged sword. Each knows exactly where the other prefers to hit, serve, and retreat. Expect rallies built on anticipation, feints, and chess-like point construction.